Good afternoon. This is Ifan from the Strategic Day Trader, and this is your market wrap for May 12th, 2020. Q's down 2% and SPY down also just about 2% there. Market actually was holding okay, down a little bit most of the day on the SPY. Q's were actually starting off up on the day this morning, and you can see the sell-off that we got here. Now, to keep things in perspective, all right, we've been watching this uptrend on the Qs. You can see that today's move lower did break the hourly uptrend on the Qs and did so as well on the SPY. All right, so what we will be watching for tomorrow is the next sell setup. Okay, sell setup, or if we kind of base at the lows, base breakdown. Okay, so we won't really, I think, get that until later in the day tomorrow. Okay, going into tomorrow, for me on the Qs and SPY, gonna be neutral. Now we do have a break of the trend, and what I am waiting to see is if we get continuation of the trend. Now, I think, you know, it's fine to start the bearish bias now in anticipation of finally this weekly getting the follow through here. Okay, but the way that the Qs and the SPY as well moved up on the daily here, to me, is not that indicative of weakness. Okay, now it could be that this is the start of the bigger move. Notice for the last few days here, right, we've been bullish. We're finally starting to see this trend break here though, and so I'm going to be neutral going into tomorrow. All right, if we come in some more, all right, then we'll be switching to a bearish bias if we're getting more follow through. Next entry even here, if we get a sell setup, if we get a base breakdown, can be bearish. We just have to wait for that setup. Okay, so interesting move here at the lows. Now, what I was mentioning too here, which we can say on this time frame, at the end of the day, it was pretty common recently for us to see sell-offs here, right? But each of those actually turned out to be buying opportunities. But you can see the magnitude of this drop, right? And how much bigger it is than the end of day, the late day reversals that we had been getting on the move up. So definitely bigger and more damaging in today's sell-off, right? And you notice how during these days we didn't switch to bearish when this happened, but notice how today's is big enough to really break the trend here on the Qs. Okay, so we'll see. I know for a lot of people it's pretty exciting in a way because, you know, bearish markets do have their advantages as far as how scalpable and tradable they are. And so, you know, we will see what we get. And if the market is able to recover from this red bar and we just continue the grind, you know, then that's fine too. It's the market that we have been trading for the last 10 years, and that's not a problem. So, you know, that's what I've been telling people. Also been waiting for the drop. If the drop comes, great. If, you know, we continue to move up as we have been for the past few weeks, right? No problem there, right? We have been trading. And that was kind of how I traded this morning, was as the same kind of bullish market that we've been in, right? So we'll go over today's plays here. So you might have played the CDLX with me. Okay, here were the numbers on the CDLX. All right, so I gave them to you. It was over 56.60 and stop was 54.90. Pretty big stop. It's a little bit on the spready side, so I was fine with a little bit of a bigger stop, right, as we broke out here. Okay, this was my favorite gap this morning, the CDLX, gapping over all of this base, gapping over a red bar. So, you know, that's what the calls look like. If you wonder when I go over the calls or the ideas and tell you what I'm playing, this is what the post looks like. Give you the entry number, what the stop is if it ends up not following through, as well as the targets. Okay, so there's no confusion as into what price I'm getting in, what price I'm looking to get out, where is my stop, none of that. Okay, so should be as straightforward and easy to follow as can be. Okay, so on this CDLX, management was okay. We took some as it got a little bit ahead of 60. The targets were 60 and then 62 and then maybe end of day. And as I mentioned in the room, when we were up at 62, you know, we didn't really have a good place to put the stop because I was going to be trailing it off the hourly. So I said, go ahead and take the whole thing because we have nowhere else to trail it. Although, you know, I would have liked to have seen if we do get further into this void up above. But we ended up, market came in. That also kind of kept this from moving further. But we had already made a really nice move up, right? So I did want to take the whole thing. So that was pretty nice. I know that was a lot of people's best play today on the CDLX, so glad people participated. And then also while I was on the mic, let you know I'm doing this SIEN. Was a break over the space. Stop was here. So on the initial kind of entry, didn't look so good. But I did really like this daily. It's this kind of transition that we've got going on out of this downtrend. So I did like kind of the potential here. And I was going to be in it unless it stopped out. And so it initially looked a little bit like it had triggered me and wasn't going to follow through. But eventually was able to get targets there on the SIEN. So it was good patience on that one. I also had to be patient a little bit on the CDLX because that did have some spreadiness and had to wait on that one as well. Though it never came close to the stop, not like this one did. So, you know, a lot of these plays in the morning just kind of chugging along or just doing what we had been doing, had been working the past few weeks. And then in the afternoon is where we saw all the kind of plays to the downside follow through. I know Sammy had a call on the LTHM in the afternoon for a short. Also mentioned the ADES as it broke down here underneath the lows. And so, you know, in the afternoon with the market, we saw a lot of things follow through to the downside. And so, you know, if that's going to be the case moving forward, not a problem. You know, these kind of setups were more than equipped to play them. So what I'll be looking for is the next sell setup or breakdown in the market as a shortable opportunity. Okay, but until we get that, going to be neutral on the market. Okay. All right, because that daily still going to be into some support that we've been grinding higher here. SPY also into some support, although not as bullish. Okay. All right, so that's the plan for tomorrow. Hope you did well today. We'll be back at it tomorrow, and I will talk to you then. All right, have a good evening.